I was going to use my headset for this, but apparently my headset decided to take a crap on me or something like that, or the computer just needed to readjust the settings or something. I don't know. However, I do want to talk about something that a lot of people have been talking about over the past 48 hours, if not the past 24 hours, and that is Survivor Series. Survivor Series is going to be happening around the second to last Sunday of the month, basically the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And all I could say is exactly what I think everybody else has been saying. What the heck, WWE? This is not bragging rights. That's what the title of this video is. Is this Survivor Series upcoming or WWE Bragging Rights 2017? If you want to do a bragging rights pay-per-view, go ahead and do it. You've done it before with the original brand split. And guess what? It succeeded. Some people got invested in it. But we don't need the Survivor Series to be based around your brand extension. You want to have one or two Survivor Series matches, fine, but don't have every match Raw and SmackDown. I mean, okay. You're going to have a cruiserweight elimination match. You're going to have a traditional Survivor Series matchup featuring the cruiserweights. Okay, fine. There's a possibility you're going to have Braun Strowman against Kane, maybe with some kind of stipulation a la WWE version of Monsters Ball. Okay, fine. And you might have something involving Shane McMahon and a partner of his choosing against Owens and Sami Zayn. Okay, fine. But really, with those being the only three exceptions, you're expecting us to fork down $49.95 or $59.95 or $69.95, whatever it may be, for nearly 7 hours of basically bragging rights, the bragging rights pay-per-view disguised under the name of Survivor Series. That doesn't make sense. Besides, the matchups you have right now for Survivor Series, nobody's going to care for. I mean, basically, if you keep the event the way it is now, you basically have a heel-heavy card. And what are you going to do? You're going to temporarily turn one of the heels on one of the sides babyface? That ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. I mean, you already have Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, along with many other people, saying Miz and Corbin's going to be a disaster. And pretty much that's true. So why even go there? Why put Alexa against Natalia? They're both heels. Yeah, you may have fans get behind Alexa, but really, it's not going to be a good match because Alexa, besides her promo skills, in the eyes of a lot of people, is still very green in the ring. Now, the Shield and the Usos, that might be the exception. That might be the only good Raw versus SmackDown non-Survivor Series match you have. That might be the exception. But this is stupid. It really is. Deluxe Man, who I did a couple of super chats to last night, Deluxe Man came up with a better card, or came up with a better card with the help of those that were in the live chat with him, like me. He came up with a better card for Survivor Series than what WWE's putting on. I mean, it makes more sense if you think about it. Here's the thing. It makes more sense if you think about it for WWE to at least have some of the champions in those Raw versus SmackDown champion matches to be baby faces. You're somewhat doing it correctly with the Shield against the Usos, but all the other matches are not correct. Well, except for Brock and Jinder. But all the other matches are not correct. So tell me this. What is the most logical thing WWE can do? I'll tell you what they can do. The most logical thing they can do is to temporarily, and you can put the belts back on these individuals if you want to. That's fine. But temporarily take certain championships off certain individuals, put them on people that fans actually get behind, fans actually care about and want to cheer for, and go from there. I'll give you an example. Alexa against Mickie James. Like I said, fans love Alexa. There's no doubt about that. But she's not that polished in the ring. Do you want her to muck it up with Natalya? No. Here's what you do. You take what happened last night on Monday Night Raw with her and Mickie James. You do the rematch, just like you've done before. And just like what you did with Sasha at SummerSlam, you do it Mickie James probably next week or the week before on Raw. You have Mickie become champion. You keep the belt on Natalya. There you go. Babyface Mickie James against heel Natalya. Babyface Mickie representing Raw. Heel Natalya representing SmackDown. End of discussion. There you go. Or you can go the other way around. You could have Charlotte become champion of SmackDown and keep the belt on Alexa. And there you go. Heel, babyface Charlotte against heel Alexa. It makes more sense. It makes more sense. And even if you don't do that, and even if you don't want to change that championship, what about the Intercontinental and U.S. champion versus champion match? You think people want to see The Miz against Baron Corbin? No. No, they don't. Here's what you do. You take the belt off The Miz temporarily. You have him lose it, let's say, to Jason Jordan, and then you have Jason Jordan against Baron Corbin, babyface against heel. Or you have someone like, let's say, I don't know, Sin Cara, who's scheduled to be in the Cruiserweight Elimination Survivor Series match. You take him out of that. You put Sin Cara over Baron Corbin or Ty Dillinger over Baron Corbin, and you have one of them face The Miz. It makes more sense. That way it doesn't look like a dumb ass move on WWE's part. Because then you'll have a definitive babyface against a definitive heel. You'll still have them representing the brands for bragging rights, but basically you'll make it more simpler and easier for fans to digest and for fans to enjoy. The thing is, I don't know what Vince McMahon is thinking. Does he think, honestly, again, he's back a few years ago, that this is the original brand extension? He's having flashbacks to then going like, yeah, let's do a Raw versus SmackDown. Yeah, that will work. Yeah, let's have John Cena. Roman Reigns, Captain Team Raw. Yeah, that's it. Raw. Is that his problem? Is he having flashbacks? I mean, it's just like with the Brock Lesnar Jinder Mahal thing I talked about in that video. I mean, does he think Brock's Hulk Hogan? Is he having flashbacks back to the 1980s and thinks Brock's Hogan and Jinder's the Iron Sheik going like this, going, yeah, the main event for Survivor Series should be Brock against Jinder Mahal, yeah, because that's going to draw money because this is the 2017. Seriously, is that his problem? Is that his problem? Because honestly, this is the most, because honestly, if he's having those kind of issues, and I'm not trying to make fun of that kind of situation, I'm not, because those kind of issues do need to be taken care of. They need to have a doctor look at those kind of issues, maybe get him some medication or psychiatric help or whatever. But if Vince is having flashbacks to 10, 15, 30 years ago, it's not good for his business. It's not. I mean, heck, people would rather see a freaking Creator Wrestling League version of Survivor Series instead of this. Why do you think a lot of Creator Wrestling League creators and promoters decide around that same weekend, maybe the weekend before, or on that very same day, to promote, if not showcase, their own version of a pay-per-view, a CPV, if you will, on YouTube, Twitch, Daily Motion, VidMe, wherever, at the same time Survivor Series is on, because they want to give fans an alternative. They want to give fans an alternative. They don't want to give them something that's going to bore them out of their minds. They don't. They'd rather watch a CPV from a CAW Creative Wrestling League like CCL, or my own league, DCWA, or DCA, or SCA, or SCAW, or ACW, what have you. They'd rather see something from one of them on the Sunday before Thanksgiving instead of this. They'd rather see what. Here's the thing. They'd rather sit through 2 back-to-back showings of A Christmas Story than watch this. And Christmas Story is a good movie, don't get me wrong. But they'd rather watch 2 back-to-back showings of A Christmas Story than the Christmas Story marathon instead of this. They'd rather watch back-to-back replays of the live or the original broadcast and the replay broadcast of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade instead of watching this. The only way WWE is going to be able to fix this crap, if you want my honest opinion, is like I said, and it's like the Lex Man said, and anybody else would say, you need a babyface representing one of the brands against a heel champion representing the other brand. It makes more sense to do that. And then here's the other thing. You got all these other feuds going on. You got Kane versus Strowman. That's obviously gonna happen. You got Owens and Sammy against Shane and a partner of his choosing. That's gonna happen. You know, you got these kind of matches going on. You got the Cruiserweight Survivor Series match happening. You're probably gonna have a freaking on the pre-show. You're probably gonna have a freaking brand Raw versus Smackdown Battle Royal. I wouldn't put it past them if they did. And here's what's crazy about this. A lot of these men and women are currently feuding with each other in some shape or form or another, and you're expecting the fans, the paying public to play dumb and think, oh, they're still feuding with each other, but they're going to put their differences aside to represent their brand. The only thing that's going to make this more intriguing for Survivor Series, if they go in this direction, is if you have the freaking teammates implode on each other. Because that's what's going to happen if they want to keep people's interest in the damn show. They're going to have to implode. You're going to have distrust. Think about it. On the women's side, what are you going to do? Carmella, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Naomi, perhaps, or Tamina? What's going to happen? Are you going to have Charlotte? I mean, what's going to happen? You're going to have Tamina. Charlotte's going to go for the tag for Tamina, and Tamina's going to jump off and say, no, I ain't doing this. You're going to have Lana be part of that team, and she's going to do the same thing. You're going to have Carmella do it. Obviously, Carmella would be the more logical choice. But still, seriously, you need something that's going to keep people's investment in the product. You got to. Same with the men. What are you going to do? You're going to put AJ on the same side with what? Baron Corbin? And AJ's going to go for the tag, or Dillinger, or whoever. AJ's going to go to tag Corbin, which would be the logical choice to put him on there. And what's Corbin going to do? I ain't doing this. I ain't having nothing to do with this. Seriously? Are you going to have Dolph Ziggler do it? Let's say Bobby Roode, who I think is going to be part of the team. You think Bobby Roode's You think when Bobby Roode goes to go tag Ziggler, Ziggler's not going to jump off? It makes more sense if you do a Survivor Series event where you take the top feuds or your top upper echelon feuds on your program at that moment. It makes more sense to comprise a team of some of the upper to mid card feuds on both brands. It's smarter. It's smart money to go in a direction where you take the heels in those on both brands of the upper to mid card feuds, put them together on one side, and take the baby faces of those same upper mid card feuds and put them on another side. It makes more sense to do that than this. I mean, look at the Raw side of things. You don't think on the women's thing, when, let's say, Asuka, if she gets in trouble, it's not going to try to tag in, I don't know, let's see, Alicia Fox, and Alicia Fox being portrayed as she is, won't jump down and say, I ain't dealing with this crap. Seriously, you don't think that's going to happen? The way they're booking this is stupid. That's what it is. It's purely stupid. The Raw men's team is going to implode. Everybody knows that. What's going to happen? Roman Reigns was going to be part of it, obviously. What's going to happen? Roman's going to go tag, I don't know, let's say The Miz, if Miz is part of the team, or he's going to try to tag in, I don't know, Kane, if Kane's on there, or whoever. Or he's going to try to tag in Anderson or Gallows if they're part of it. You don't think Anderson and Gallows might jump down and say, nope, we're not doing this? Do you think, let's say Bray Wyatt's back and he's on that team, and he's along teaming with Finn Balor. You don't think Finn's going to try to take Bray and he's not going to jump off? It makes more sense to take, like I said, the upper to mid-card feuds and split them across teams. Put the heels on one side and the baby faces on the other. But obviously you're not doing that. Obviously they're not doing that, and that doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. It doesn't make sense. And Brock against Jinder, the Lex Man said it best. It's a lose-lose situation. It's not a win-win. I mean, you're trying to build Jinder up as this massive hero in India, and yet you're going to feed him to Brock Lesnar. That doesn't help Brock, and that doesn't help Jinder. It's like I told the Lex Man in the not in the super chat, in the regular chat last night in the live chat. I said it's basically a day off for him. What are you going to do? You're going to have the Singh brothers interfere, and somehow that costs Brock the match, and he loses? Not going to happen. And then you got John Cena involved possibly as the referee. It's like I told the Lex Man. All that is to set up John Cena, Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship at the next SmackDown Live pay-per-view, if not the Royal Rumble. That's what it is. Believe me or you don't, it is. That's why John's going to be involved in this somehow. It's to set him up against Jinder Mahal. It's stupid. And it's like I said, it's to set him up for one reason. Hashtag number 17 on its way. That's what it is. That's what it is. This is stupid. This is stupid. I mean, the only way, I was thinking about this earlier. The only way this could actually be worth anything is if you put Kevin and Sammy on the SmackDown side, and then all of a sudden, the SmackDown team, when they try to go for a tag, jumps off, besides maybe Sammy or Kevin, wondering what's going on. And then, when the moment's right, you have both Raw and SmackDown teams gang up on them, revealing that this whole Raw versus SmackDown situation was started because of something Kevin and Sami Zayn planted in their minds, or somebody else. They said something or whatever that caused this rift to happen. That's the only way it's going to work, is if it's revealed that Kevin and Sami are behind it, behind this rift between both brands. It's the only way it's going to work. Because you know why? Because it doesn't make sense for it to work any other way. You need something that's going to keep people's interest or invested into wanting to see the show. Right now, War Games NXT Takeover is the more intriguing show. And you know what? You know what? If you don't want to change anything, and I'm not going to say that they won't, because they're going to have to, because they're going to get a lot of backlash in this next month or so, heading into Survivor Series. You want to keep things really interesting? You want to do Team Raw versus Team SmackDown? Here's what you do. You want to have them go to war? Keep the damn War Games set up. Keep the cage, keep the 2 rings, set it up. There you go. And you know what? People will tune in for that, because you're giving them back-to-back War Games. You're giving them NXT TakeOver War Games, and you're giving them a traditional War Games. It makes more sense if you do that than doing what you're going to do. And you know what? I guarantee you the Lex man would probably buy a ticket if WWE comes out and says it's going to be Team Raw versus Team SmackDown in a War Games match. It makes more sense. Makes more sense. Because that way you don't have to. That way the WWE crew doesn't have to have the painstakingly task of taking that cage down and removing the other ring. They don't have to have that unbearable task. Just leave it. Just leave it, work with it, and have a War Games match. Show that you could probably outdo NXT TakeOver War Games with a Raw versus SmackDown War Game. That's the only way you're going to keep people's interest in this. It's the only way. Because I don't see any other way. I can't think of any other way you're going to be able to keep people's investment in this. Look, this isn't 2005, 2006, 2007, 2004. It isn't that time of year anymore. This is 2017. People are smarter than this. They want something more, and I guarantee if WWE puts a War Games stipulation over that Team Raw versus Team SmackDown situation deal, fine. You know what? You got my interest. You got my intrigue. It's the only way it's going to work. Heck, you know what would make it even more interesting? If you make it, you know what would make it even, make it, and you know what would also be interesting, maybe get people talking, is if you have one or several members of one side betray the other and jump ship. Think about it. People are saying Sasha Banks needs to turn heel, right? Why not have Sasha turn on Team Raw and go to SmackDown? I'm just saying. Why not have Jason Jordan turn on Team Raw and go back to SmackDown and be with Chad Gable? Makes more sense. Because at least you got people talking saying, oh, did you see what happened? So-and-so jumped over to SmackDown now. Or so-and-so jumped to Raw. It'll get people talking. Something like this, if you just keep it the way it is, will not get people talking. And again, the champion versus champion scenario, with the exception of the tag team and maybe the Universal Champ versus WWE Champ, the other matches need to change. You need to get the belt off either The Miz or the belt off Corbin and put it on the babyface. And then use that person as the opponent for the other. Same with the women's match. You need to get the belt off Alexa or the belt off of Natalya and go from there. The point is, WWE, I don't know what you're smoking, but it needs to stop. And Vince McMahon, I am letting you know right now, on behalf of any fan that feels like this, you need help. Get some help. Go get some medication or whatever. Stop thinking it's 30 Stop thinking it's 15 to 30 years ago. It's not. It's not. Okay? This is 2017. Get with the times. Get with the times. Because this is not Bragging Rights 2017. This is Survivor Series. Okay? This is Survivor Series. One of your traditional big fours. One that's celebrating 30 years now. This is the 30th Survivor Series. And you're going to celebrate it by making it into Bragging Rights 2017? That's stupid. That is stupid. You're basically devaluing your second biggest pay-per-view, the second longest running pay-per-view of all time by turning it into a freaking brand supremacy, a pay-per-view for brand supremacy. Stupid. And you know what? The only way you could save it is several ways that I've mentioned. You either can reveal that this whole rift between both sides is because something started by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and you both have them get their asses beat by both sides at Survivor Series. You either decide, or if you don't decide to do that, you decide, hey, we want to keep going and make this into a war. Keep the freaking War Games set up from the night before and do your own interpretation for War Games on the 30th Survivor Series. That'll get people talking. Or you can have someone betray their team and jump ship to the other show. Any of those scenarios work better than just keeping it as is. And if you want to know, again, the champions versus champion lineup that you have, with the exception of two, the other two have to change. Get the belt off Miz, put it on Jordan if you have to. Get the belt off Corbin. Or if you're not going to do that, get the belt off Corbin, put on Ty Dillinger, Sin Cara, and have a babyface versus a heel match for brand supremacy. Same with the women. Get the belt off Alexa, or get the belt off Natalya, and have a babyface representing Raw or a babyface representing SmackDown. Go from there. It makes it more intriguing, more interesting. It doesn't bore people to death. And it doesn't insult their intelligence. And again, I'll say this. The Lex Man came up with a better idea of the card than I think anybody else did. I really do. So WWE, ball's in your court. Are you going to deal with the backlash from what the fans have to say for the next month? Or are you going to do something about it? You can add, and you know what? You can add stipulations all you want. Maybe that'll make things interesting. You know, I was thinking at work today, why not add a stipulation to where if SmackDown wins for the next year or so to next year's Survivor Series, SmackDown's referred to as the new flagship show and the new A show. Basically, they become the Raw. They become Raw. They become basically they become the premier show for the next year or so. And as part of the agreement, Raw has to acknowledge them as that. Or maybe you say, in addition, maybe to that, you say, oh, if SmackDown, whatever brand wins, they get the superstars that were taken from them during the superstar shakeup back. In other words, if SmackDown wins, they get back The Miz, they get back Alexa. You know, stuff like that. Or if Raw wins, they get Mahal back, they get the New Day back. Makes sense. At least with those kind of stipulations, people may tune in to see what happens. But this, right now, not good. Not good. And like I said, I think the Lex Man made a better card along with the help of people in his live chat last night than I think WWE can come up with. And I'm not saying that to suck up to Alex or anything. No. I'm saying that because that's the damn truth. And I think he knows it. And he knows it. OTRS Central knows it, because I guarantee you Slag Daddy could come up with a better card. I guarantee you Chase Oliver could come up with a better card. I guarantee you Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez can come up with a better card. Heck, I'll say this. The people that write My Little Pony Friendship is Magic can come up with a better wrestling card than what's happening in Survivor Series. And I'm a fan of Friendship is Magic. Heck, the people behind Voltron, Avatar, and Legend of Korra, they could come up with a better card. The truth is, WWE, ball's in your court. What are you going to do? Are you going to keep things the way they are? Are you doing it? And let me ask you this. Let me ask WWE this, and I know they're watching. I know anybody else is watching. Is WWE, are you doing this to get back at the fans for 2014? Is that what you're doing? Are you getting back at us thinking, well, this will teach the fans to go against us? This will teach the fans to take away what I wanted? What was my main event for WrestleMania 30? Is that what you're doing? Fine, fine. We get it. We get it. Fine then. We get it. You want Randy Orton against Batista that year. Fine. We get it. We get it. But guess what? That didn't happen, did it? You realized that the fans had a voice. The fans spoke to you. And if it's your daughter, of all people, Stephanie McMahon, that's coming out and maybe truthfully or hypocritically saying, oh, the fans have a voice, the fans determine what happens, then maybe you ought to listen to the fans. And maybe you should listen to them starting now. Because you know what? What you got set up for Survivor Series, unless you can come up with something more interesting to get people's attention, like keeping the War Game set up or whatever, expect probably the lowest buy rate you've ever had, and expect the lowest viewership you've ever had as far as the network goes. Because that's what's going to happen. And you know what? You think selling out Raw and SmackDown televised is bad, and you have to move people from the hard cam side because you can't sell out a building? Imagine what's going to happen compared to NXT TakeOver the night before. Imagine how fans are going to be when they don't sell out the freaking Toyota Center, and there's a report saying only 5,000 fans attended Survivor Series. It's not going to look good for you, WWE. So do yourself a favor. Listen to your fans, change things, and do it now. That's all I'm going to say. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you all for watching live. Thank you all for watching post live, basically after it's been uploaded. But let me know what you think down below. Deluxe Man, I'd like to hear from you. OTR Central, I'd like to hear from you. Chase Oliver, anybody that watched live or will watch post live, let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. And I'm out. God bless. Take care. Here, and I am out.